I'm optimistic about Canada's future. Periods of trial, when endured in the right way, also lead to great periods of prosperity and victory.
What makes Canada such an extraordinary nation?
Well, this is a great question, and I think it's an important one that we need to ask ourselves, and it's one that I've been asking a lot in my writing and on my podcast when we have guests on. And the question really is, just to sort of modify the question, David, is what does it mean to be Canadian?
Indeed,
I
yes.
would say that when you and I were growing up in Canada, we're of the same generation. I can't speak for you, but I dare say you had a pretty good sense of what that meant. And I was not confused when growing up or even going through university or even going back 10, 15 years ago about what it meant to be Canadian, what that identity was.
Hmm.
And I think that we saw ourselves as, I saw Canada as a Christian nation, a good nation, a nation that on balance had done more good for the world than
Hmm.
evil. I saw us as having a very strong history of peacekeeping. We have an incredible military history
We
that is
do.
not talked about enough. The Canadians'
Hmm.
involvement in many wars, world wars, peacekeeping conflicts, and we also have an incredible background in terms of the arts and the sciences
Hmm.
and literature. And really, Canada is a great nation by any measure. But unfortunately, we over the past 10 years, we've fallen into this identity complex, this identity, almost like a loss of identity. We don't know who
Hmm.
we are anymore. Our prime minister says that Muslim values are Canadian values. They might be, but are they? Are they shared by
Hmm.
every Canadian?
Hmm.
Is there right now kind of a coalescence where people have a sense, a clear sense about who we are as a nation, what we stand for? And I
Hmm.
think that the situation that's going on right now with our current prime minister and the conflict with the United States is really shining a light on this because the Americans have been sort of through the same malaise, I would say, in the Obama era and then into the Biden administration. But with Donald Trump coming to the fore and MAGA, the Americans seem to have a renewed sense of who they are, almost a
Hmm.
constitutional, cultural originalism that's taking hold there. And it's
Hmm.
shedding light on really how faint the pulse is
Hmm.
of Canadian nationalism. In fact, I would
Hmm.
say that in Canada, nationalism is a bad word. We're told that
Hmm.
we're colonialists, we're imperialists,
Hmm.
we've been a bad actor, both
Hmm.
domestically and internationally. And that's not the sense of Canada that I grew up with. And it's not
Hmm.
one that I like very much because I happen to think it's false. And I think
Yeah.
that the problem that we have is the real problem that we have in terms of this is our values. I think Canada is going through a crisis of values.
Hmm.
And we've got to get a clear understanding of what those values are. I think
Hmm.
I have a clear sense of what I think those are and what they could be. And I also have a sense, I'm optimistic about Canada's future, unlike many people. I
Hmm.
happen to think that the Lord blessed Canada in ways that are obvious, and I don't think that He would have done that unless He had a great plan in mind, a great
Hmm.
potential
Hmm.
to be lived out by this country.
Hmm.
And it saddens me that many people don't share that view of Canada. But I know from reading history and also reading the Bible that periods of trial, when endured in the right way,
Hmm.
also lead to great periods of prosperity and victory.